So welcome back, and on today's show, Lager Ladettes, we've been discussing the Ladette culture. Now, joining us in the studio is Dr SOHERE ROKED. Welcome.
Hi.
So you are a GP, general practitioner, with a specialist interest in integrative medicine. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what is exactly integrative medicine?
So, like you said, I am a normal GP, but integrative medicine is where you use the best of conventional medicine and also any proven alternative therapies and lifestyle changes to create total health. It's a more holistic way of looking at health. So I always give an example, like if you're having a heart attack, you know, you probably just want to get straight to A&E, you don't want to be dabbling in anything else and you need the drugs. But what if we could get to a point where it prevents you having the heart attack? So you make different lifestyle changes with your nutrition, the way you exercise, taking certain supplements, managing your stress. So the combination of the two would be great, and after you've had the heart attack, you should carry on by taking your medication but also making your lifestyle changes, and that's how you achieve total health.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, you know, we're talking about this whole Lager Ladette culture. What would you say are some of the health issues that have been brought on by binge drinking?
Well, I think most people know about liver disease. That's the most common one. And the liver's really great at regenerating itself, like healing itself, but only if it has a break. So if you're constantly drinking all the time and drinking larger quantities than you should do, so like binge drinking for a woman is more than 4 drinks, like in a 2-hour period. For a man, it's 5 drinks. So if you're doing that constantly, your body never gets a chance to recover. But other than liver disease, there's lots of other things, and I think you've touched on some of them. So you make different decisions when you're drunk because you feel more confident, you're not sort of thinking as rationally as you normally would, so you can cause injury to yourself or to other people. Also, if we're talking about women, you know, women and men as well, but women more at risk of becoming pregnant if they're making bad sexual decisions because they're drunk, getting STIs, putting themselves at risk of sexual abuse as well. So that's a big thing, especially for, you know, young women who are going out. You need to be careful of that at any age really, but especially if you're drunk. It can affect your neurological function long term, so it can affect your concentration, your memory. It puts a strain on your vessels, so you're more likely to get heart problems or strokes in later life. Wow. And we're forgetting as well that, you know, you can feel quite euphoric in the moment when you're drinking, but alcohol's actually a depressant, so it can lead to long-term mental health issues as well. It's a whole multitude of things from physical to emotional.
Wow.
You also wrote the book Tiredness, the Cure. Beating fatigue.
Yes.
For good. What tips can you give us?
So the book covers a whole range of different things, from what you eat to what vitamins you should take, how you manage your stress, your hormone balance, which is really important for women and their energy. But sometimes people say to me, oh, well, is the advice just sleep more and drink more water? And yeah, there is a chapter on sleep because sleep's really important, but it's more like the life hacks of sleep. How do you get the best quality of sleep? So going to sleep between 10 and midnight, you're going to get a far better quality sleep than if you go to bed at 2 a.m. and then sleep until 10 a.m. And the reason for that is because that's when your body produces the most melatonin, so your sleep is more restful and your cells also regenerate during that time. And then if we're talking about, say, exercise, we all know exercise is important, but if you're very fatigued, doing really intensive cardio is not going to help you at all. You want to be doing things more like yoga, walking in nature, more restorative exercise. So it's about giving you those tips to just sort of adjust things. Like say with fruit and veg, we all know we should have at least 5 fruit and veg a day. But certain fruit and veg are higher in chemicals. So it's about knowing how to wash your fruit and veg, which ones to have organic, so you're getting less chemicals, because those chemicals can affect the way your cells function.
Wow, it's really helpful.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, because I'm a bit of a foodie, so yeah, always have things like that.
All of that. Just thinking about some of what we were discussing earlier, where do you think the line is crossed between social drinking and when a person actually becomes an alcoholic? Where is that line? What causes a person to cross it?
So I think it's in the motive behind the drinking. So, you're saying if it's Friday night, you've had a hard week and you're going out with your girlfriends or boyfriends to celebrate, and you have a couple of drinks, you feel great, you enjoy it, you go home. That's social drinking. Yeah. Alcoholism is more that compulsion to drink, and normally the motive behind it is negative. So, you don't feel good about yourself, so you need to drink more. You're depressed, so you want to drink to sort of get out of your headspace and get rid of that stress. So it's more the motive behind it. And also that ability to know that, do you know what, I have to drive tonight because there's a problem with transport, and that's not a big deal because I can go without drinking. Yeah. Whereas for someone who's an alcoholic, they won't be able to do that because they will go there, they will feel resentful, they'll feel depressed, or they just won't go out. So it's more the motive behind it. Is it happy drinking or sad drinking? Okay. I think it's the same with eating as well, and true. Smoking and all sorts of vices. Yeah. We've all had happy eating. Right. We have some dessert, we don't really care about it because we're in a good place, or we feel really down and we just sit at home and eat like a whole bar of Cadbury's. Don't leave me hanging. It's not just me, right? No, it's not.
Leave your words afterwards.
It's like, why did I eat all that? And it starts again.
Comfort eating. Definitely.
But how can we help to tackle this amongst females and young females? Because that's where we're seeing obviously the rise in the issues. Because even things like, I'm not a social drinker even by any standards, but for them to realise what you're saying about strokes and things like that, I was thinking, oh my gosh, strokes, like I'd never even gone there, with that. So how do we get people to start thinking more about what it is they're doing to their body from such a young age?
Well, I think it's quite a difficult one because, like you were saying, it's to do with the culture, and it's quite normal to go out and drink. And in fact, if you're not the one drinking, you're the weird one, really. Right. So I think it is just about public knowledge and education, but also making it relatable. So I remember, I'm showing my age now, but I remember when I was at school, there was the whole thing about Leah Betts, and she did ecstasy, and then her parents started that campaign to show people that taking drugs recreationally can lead to that. So I think, something similar like that, really publicising the negative effects. Not saying you can never drink, you can't ever go out, because I believe it is all about balance. And some alcohol now and again in a happy way is a good thing. But when it's leading to accidents and injuries, I think that's not a good thing. And you also mentioned like women try to keep up with men as well with the drinking, and men biologically just can drink more. Physically they can take more than a woman can for alcohol. But I think it's also like letting women know you don't have to compete with men in that way for drinking. Sometimes they feel there's that competitive side in the workplace, but it's about embracing really being a woman and knowing, what you do as a woman and what you do as a man is different sometimes, especially physically. And some people might not like that fact, but I feel that it's important to know that, the woman's physiology is different to a man's physiology.
I think that some people have to just get out of that headspace that, we are supposed to be equal in all things and everything, because at the end of the day, we're not. Our body's not. We carry babies, men can't. Men don't. As much as we'd like to put that on them, for them to have periods every month too, they can't. So it's about embracing the differences and celebrating them.
Exactly, I agree.
So, what if we knew of a female friend, for instance, who we thought, okay, this isn't social happy drinking anymore. This has gone a little bit too far. How would you recognise those signs, and how would you deal with it, even as a friend, to try to encourage them to get help from maybe someone like you or a health professional?
I would say that if you feel concerned about it, it would be good to bring it up with that friend. And of course you always have the risk of them not being happy about it or getting angry with you, but it's in the way you approach it. And say, I noticed that you're drinking a bit more than you normally do, and you don't always seem that happy. Is there something going on that I can help you with? And just try and open up communication, because I think a lot of people drink because they're lonely, or they feel scared, or they feel they've got to keep up with other people, or there's something emotional going on. So I think just at first, at least if they know that there's someone there for them, that's a good start. There are loads of good books out there. The guy who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, Jack Canfield, he's written a great book about how to reduce your alcohol over 30 days. So it's also about signposting people to things like that. Can't really force anyone to do anything, unfortunately, but I think speaking to them directly, speaking to other people that care about them, and letting them know you're there for them is always a good place to start.
Lovely.
Oh, that's brilliant. So what would your tips be for us of what we can do to live a happier, healthier life then?
So that's a big question.
Putting you on the spot.
And we all want the answer to that, of course. So I think it's really about connecting with yourself, knowing what your true values are, what's important to you, and finding something that gives you joy. And if you can do that and integrate that into your life every way and every day, you're going to be feeling happier overall, making healthier decisions, healthier choices, and bringing more joy to people as well. It's not just about you, it's about the way you leave people feeling as well.
Oh, that was great. Thank you. See, it wasn't such a big question after all. You answered it fantastically. Thank you so much for all your advice as well. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So we are going to go to a break and then we'll be right back to discuss more about Lagerledets.